Hey everyone, it's Justine and welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas 2017. It's day 8 and I'm going to be showing you a really cool mirror image technique featuring the So Susie Stamps mirror image stamp. I'm going to get started by using a piece of Inkadinkado masking paper, and I'm going to cut this hillside border die off the bottom so I could use a small piece of this masking paper. That's so I can mask off a snowbank, and it's going to create a nice white space on my card since I'm going to be making the background quite dark. So I'm just going to peel off the masking paper and then place it onto the bottom of my card so that it protects that area while I'm adding the ink to the background. I'm going to be using 3 colors of Distress Oxide for this card, and sorry, I had to actually restart my card, so my mask looks used at the moment, because it is. And I'm going to start off with Broken China, and I'm going to work my way in from the bottom and work my way upward. I'm going to follow that by using 2 additional colors. I'm going to be using Faded Jeans, and I'm going to be using Salty Ocean as well. So going in with the Salty Ocean, I still keep the Broken China out on the side here so that I can blend back and forth and create a nice seamless blend between the 2 colors. You'll see I go back and forth always between the color I'm using and the color I previously used. And then for the last color, I'm going to be using Faded Jeans, the darkest color, and I'm going to come in from the very top this time so I can really darken up that top of that sky. And I'm going to go in along the edges as well just to darken it up a little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to go back in with that Salty Ocean just to get that blend. As you can see, it darkens up nicely and it looks like a really great ombre night sky when it's all finished. So now you just need to make sure that it is all dry. I actually used a heat tool to dry the entire background, and the way you can test your background is to just pour some embossing powder on it and make sure it doesn't stick. That's really important before moving on to the next step. So this is how you mirror image stamp. It's quite simple, really. You're going to take an image that you need to stamp in the opposite direction. So you're going to take it, for example, this dancing fairy stamp from So Susie Stamps. And I've actually done this card with this dancing fairy before as the mirror image technique, but I wanted to show you a nice holiday take on the design. I'm going to actually ink it up. Instead of inking it up with regular ink like you could do, I'm going to emboss the mirror image. So I'm going to be using Versamark ink. Sorry, I always get the 2 mixed up. And again, you could just do this with plain black ink or any color. And you're going to stamp that down on your sheet of paper. Then, so this is just normal stamping like you would do normally. And what I like to do is I like to go in twice, especially because I'm doing embossing. I don't want to have any areas that are without ink. So I do it twice, and because I'm using the Misti stamping tool, I'm able to stamp in the same spot twice with no issues. Next up, I'm going to add the mirror image stamp to the design. You can see that I haven't moved the fairy stamp at all. So I'm going to go ahead this time and ink it up once again, and instead of stamping on paper, I'm stamping directly onto this mirror image stamp. And again, you can do this 1, 2, 3 times and keep building up the color as often as you like. I'm going to do it once again twice so that I make sure I get that excellent coverage that I need. So now that I've stamped that on the mirror image, it is actually going to be the complete opposite when I flip my card around and I put it right into the corner of my Misti where it was before when it was right side up. I'm going to rub my fingers all over the back of this, and you're going to see that I get a nice impression on both sides. Now both fairies are actually facing each other. So think of the possibilities. Any of your creature stamps or solid image stamps are now going to be able to face the opposite directions, and that's going to be perfect when your creature isn't facing the direction that you need. It's so versatile, and it's such a great stamp to have in your stash. Now, because I'm going to be embossing this, I'm actually not done stamping, so I'm going to grab this stamp here, and this is a really pretty swirl stamp, and it's called the Ornament Lace, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in the middle of the fairies to make it look like the fairies are flying and carrying up this ornament into the sky. I'm going to add my embossing powder over top of the Versamark ink, and remember, if you would have just done regular color, you don't need to do this step, obviously. You would have just stamped in black ink or red ink or blue ink or whatever you were doing. So now I'm going to go ahead and I have to heat set that, but if you get any extra stray embossing powder, just clear it off with a dry paintbrush. So I'm just going to do that here at the top where I had a little bit that stuck because my background colors probably weren't quite dry. So once I heat all of that up, you're going to see how quickly my heat tool actually works. So I'm using a Wagner heat tool, which I got recently this year, and I absolutely love it because it melts it so fast. It doesn't give the paper really time to warp at all. So now that I've melted those on there, it's actually the same white as the bottom of my card. It looks gorgeous. I am going to stamp the bottom of this cardstock. Now, I wanted to mention a couple things while I'm doing the stamping. So this card is a part of a blog hop. So a bunch of my friends have got together to make sort of funny Christmas cards. So if you want to check out all of their cards and follow along and comment on all of their blogs, there's only about 5 or 6 people participating. You can have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate. Or you could have the giveaway here on my channel. Here, leave a comment on this channel or on my blog to win a chance for another $25 gift certificate. So 2 $25 gift certificates are up for grabs for So Susie Stamps today. So I'm going in with the Distress Stripe sprayer, and I sprayed some water onto my background to add a little bit of extra detail. And I love this spray bottle because you get different sort of size splotches when you're spraying. And I'm going to finish up the card by mounting it onto a card base, which measures 11 by 4 1/4, and it's folded in half at 5 1/2 inches. I'm then going to glue my background onto the card using some Tombow monoliquid adhesive. You may want to let your background fully dry before you do this. I think it turned out to be such a lovely card, and I love that mirror image technique. It's so amazing. So I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. I hope you'll check out the So Susie Stamps blog hop that I am participating in today that are funny Christmas cards, and I hope you'll have a chance to win 2 $25 gift certificates. If you need information again about the giveaway, it's all listed over on my blog. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you have missed any of the 12 Days of Christmas so far or any other Christmas tutorials, they are listed in my playlist. And you can also subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face there. All right, we will see you tomorrow for another Christmas card tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.